Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. In the previous video, we talked about how to expand brackets, okay? So now we're going to talk about factorization, how to factorize algebraic expressions. Generally, we have 3 ways of doing that, or 4 ways, depending, but in this video, I'm gonna just talk about just one of them, the common factors. Now, when we get to quadratic equation, I'm going to talk about the 4 ways of factorizing algebraic expression or algebraic equations and some case quadratic equations. So we're going to talk about quadratic equations soon. So I'm going to just talk about the simple one here, which will be like the use of common factors. But when we get to that part, I'm going to expand on it. We're going to talk about different ways of factorizing. Is that okay? And when we get to quadratic equations. So things like difference of 2 squared, things like the almighty formula, minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, or we're going to use completing the square method. So I'm going to talk about all this here. I'm going to leave it to when we get to quadratic equation. But for now, I'm going to just use the common factors and how do you factorize using simple factorization using common factors method, all right? So first thing first is that we just need to establish that factorization is the reverse of expanding the bracket. So what we did in the previous video, this is just the reverse of it. So basically it involves putting those expressions back into brackets. And we have 3 rules of doing that, 3 rules or 3 steps, okay? Now, the first thing you have to do is that you have to then find a common factor for all the terms. Usually it is preferred to say the highest common factor, all right? So, but I sometimes just like to say the common factor so every student can understand. But usually it should be the highest common factor. So find the common factor, okay, for all the terms. So it's usually the highest common factor. Let me write this in full. So the highest common factor. So the highest common factor for all the terms, all right? Highest common factors for all the terms. Then when you found that and you found all the highest common factors, then you have to rewrite the question using the common factor. So you then have to then rewrite the question using the common factor, all right? Then the last step is that you then bring the common factors together. So you bring them out and you leave the rest of the terms in the brackets, all right? So you bring the common factor out and leave the rest. So you leave the rest of the terms in the bracket. So the first thing, you get a common factor, you rewrite the question, you bring all the common factors out, and you leave the rest of the terms in the bracket. All right, so like I usually advise students, usually you can take a screenshot of the rules so that when we get to the next whiteboard page, you can have a look at it, or you can pause the video, write down the rules on your notebook. Then when we start solving the example, you will now know what I'm doing. So let's take something very simple first. Let's say we have 3a plus 6. Now, the first step said that we should find the common factors, the highest common factor for both of them. So step 1, what is the most common factor here between both of them, 3a and 6? What is common between them? You will notice that the most common one is 3, okay? 3 can divide 3a, and 3 as well is the highest number that can divide 6. Now, the step 2 then is that the rule states that we then have to rewrite the question using the common factor. So that means we have to rewrite it. So that means we can write the first one as 3 multiplied by a plus, we write the second one as what? 3 multiplied by what? 2. Okay, so multiply 3 by 8, 3 by 2. The third step says that you have to bring the common factors out and leave the rest of that in the bracket. So step 3, the common factor is 3. You are left with a, and you're also left with what? 2. And that is the answer for that. The correct answer, when you factorize 3a plus 6, it should be what? 3 into bracket, a plus 2. That's how you factorize. Now, let me pick one more just to just see how we do understand. So we have 14a plus 12b. And the question now asks us what is we should write this, right? We should factorize this. So what you can do, the step 1, we need to look for the common factor. So what is the common factor between both of them? 2, okay? Is a common factor. 2 can divide this, and 2 can also divide this. So the step 2 then, you can write this as 2 times 7 times a plus, we have 2 times 6 times what? B. Now, step 3 now said that we should collect the like terms. So 2 is common in both of them. You bring out 2, and you're left with 7 and times a. Then you bring out 2, and you're left with 6 times what? B. Then that'll be 2. 7 times a will give you 7a, right? And 6 times b will give you what? 6b. And that is the answer for that. All right, let me just add one more. So let's assume we have 4x plus 16x. All right, I will ask, 16x xb. Let's put something like this, xb. And you're asked to what is the common factor here. So the step 1, remember I told you the common factor, what we refer is the highest common factor, right? That is the key word, the highest common factor. So now if you look at this example, for instance, what's the common factor between 4 and 16? 2 can divide both 4 and 16. 4 can divide both 4 and 16. But we are not going to use 2. We're going to work with what? 4, because we're looking for the highest common factor. Then step 2, we have to rewrite this in terms of the common factor. So it's going to become 4 times x plus 4 times 4 times x times b. But if you look at this closely again, you also notice in addition to this, x is also what? Common between both of them. So you can see x in the first one. You can also see x in the second one. So that means the common factor now should be 4x. So both of them is the common factors for both the first one and the second one. So that means if we want to factorize now, we're going to bring the common factor 4x out, and we're going to be left with 1 plus, you bring 4x out, you're going to be left with what? 4b, and the answer will be that. Okay? All right, thank you very much. And this will bring us to the end of how to factorize algebraic expression using common factors method. Like I said, I'm going to talk about the other method of factorization when we get to quadratic equation. So I'm just going to talk about this because this is a basic algebra. I'm just trying to lay the background for the topics that we're going to discuss later. All right. So the next video I'm going to be talking about will be simplifying algebraic fractions. Okay. So if you have any question, feel free to send me an email. Don't forget to subscribe or share with your friends. And if you have anything that you think that some question you want me to help you with, please don't feel free to put it in the comment section and I'll reply to you. All right. Thank you very much. And I will see you in the next video.